Howdy folks, this is Pandaholic, your number one drinks enthusiast panda, and today we're back with some more Battletech, although today this is a bonus episode. There's not going to be any action in this one, so if you want to skip this one, you're free to do so. There's going to be a lot of lore reading, and a little bit of explaining of the game menu from the leopard, and also figuring out what we're going to call our company and what our mechs are going to look like and what our company crest is going to look like. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get back to the gameplay. In orbit, or can. You need to start finding us better clients, Darius. I mean it. We've been slumming it up on the ass end of the frontier for 3 years now, and we are drowning in debt. I'm fully aware of our financial situation, Mayor, but I can't just conjure up new clients out of thin air. Killian, do me a solid and back me up on this. Let's see. If we're really that hard up for cash, we need to stop talking and start doing something about it. Hey, you'll hear no arguments from me. When we made you our commander, we all agreed to follow your lead. Darius, could you walk us through the details of this trouble we're in? It might help if you broke things down point by point. Sure thing, Yang. Point 1. Mayor's right. We're in debt. Every C-bill we make technically belongs to the banks. And point 2, this corner of the frontier is a dead zone for mercenary work. There are clients, but they're terrible. That's just a fact. And that's it. There are no other points. Let's see. What's our best case scenario? How many jobs will it take to repay the loans? Truthfully, I can't even say. We're in a pretty deep hole, and from where I'm standing, I don't see a whole lot of daylight. The thing is, these banks, and I use the word loosely, they don't want to pay us. They don't want us to pay off our debt, our loans. They'll do whatever they can to get away with to keep us on the hook. Hit us with fees, jack up our interest rates, misfile our paperwork. I'm trying to find us a way out of this, but it's going to take some time. And every day that passes, we accumulate more debt. If we keep going like this, we have been screwed. If we keep going like we have been, we're screwed. I can read. Why not just refuse to pay? We can afford to throw weight around. We've got battle mechs. That wouldn't be a very good idea, Killian. The banks wouldn't come for us themselves. They'd hire mercenaries, and you already know how hard up frontier mercs are for work. If we stiff the banks, we'll wind up dead in debtor's prison, and out here in the frontier, those are basically the same thing. Okay. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we going to do about it? I don't see what else we can do, Killian. I'm already serving up every legitimate contract I can find. Unless you want me to sidestep the mercenary review board entirely, we're basically out of options. Go around the mercenary review board? No thanks. Taking an uncertified job is a great way to wind up with a knife in your back. We just got betrayed on a board-certified contract, Yang. How much worse could it get? Plenty. What happened down there was an exception, boss. With uncertified jobs, it's the rule. Remind me again why we don't just skip town and head to a nicer corner of the periphery? Because the banks and the jump ship crews have an arrangement. Until we pay up, they're going to keep us on a short leash. Bastards. That's a good reason. Look, Darius, Mayor's right. We need to start earning some real money. We need to do it soon. It's only a matter of time before something breaks down that I can't fix with duct tape and good intentions. Let's see. I had to work a few uncertified jobs after I was asked to leave my home system. It's risky, but it's better than going hungry. You hear that, Darius? The voice of experience speaks. Going around the mercenary review board might kill us, sure, so might 1,000 other things. But I'd rather die trying than give up and accept the inevitable. It's settled then. I'll start digging for contracts outside of the mercenary review board system. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out for the best. It isn't like we've got all that much to lose. In the meantime, we need to find another paying job, and our prospects in the system have completely dried up. I recommend booking travel to the neighboring system and seeing what the review board has for us. With any luck, we'll find work to keep going until something better rolls in. The banks are holding your jump ship access hostage until we repay our debts. For now, we can only go between Akrun and the nearby system of Alloway, Battletech, and Detroit. God damn, we're stuck in Detroit. Top priority right now is to be finding work, so we can raise cash. None of the contracts here are very good. I picked out the only viable ones I could find, and it hopefully includes our travel fees as part of the deal. Come by the command center when you're ready to review it. Okay, so we've got quite a few more menus that we can check out now. Finally, a little sneak peek of what we can actually do with this game. All right, so let's start. We'll start from, I suppose, the finances. The finances tab under the captain's quarters. We can get a good idea of what we're paying monthly. Looks like total cost is going to be 130,000 each month, and we've only got 1 million sea bills to work with. Not a lot at all. A reputation, as the reputation goes up, will be rated for better jobs and stuff. There's also quite a few different factions. I kind of briefly explained this at the beginning of the game, that you can actually get a negative rep or positive rep for, depending on who you like and stuff like that. And then the systems inside these zones can offer discounts for weapons and battle mechs and stuff like that, or better pay on jobs, or more salvage, or vice versa, less of everything. Not good. Then we can customize our company, actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. I like this a lot. Okay, the Pandaholics Alcoholics with the bear icon, and this is going to be what our mechs are going to look like. Hell yeah, I like it. All right, let's go. We can go to navigation. We have the star map and some mirror. Star map basically tells you... Oh yeah, it tells you where you can actually look for jobs and shops. It's got a lot of different filters on it too that you can kind of mess around with. Right now we've only got 4 different systems that we can actually travel to. Not much else, but as you might see, we've got a much bigger map. In fact, way bigger than this. But for now, we're just gonna have to deal with what we got. We won't worry about that yet. We can talk to Samir. Something I can do for you. Does the decision we made about uncertified contracts satisfy your concerns? My concerns won't be satisfied until our creditors have been paid and the loan sharks are offered backs, but this is a step in the right directions, and that makes me happy. I'm not blind to the risks that uncertified contracts entail, by the way. I mean, I know what we're doing is dangerous, but it's the best chance we've got to dig ourselves out of this hole. I've got some... I don't have any questions about navigation. I'm collecting stories about the crew. Tell me something about yourself. Well, I'm from the noble family like you. We're old money. Made our fortune out in Rasselhag, then repatriated to the Taurian Concordat. That's where I grew up. I'm not sure if this is the kind of stuff you were hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. I'm not shy. Where's the Concordat are you from? Or what part? I grew up in New Vandenberg. It's a nice enough place, I suppose. Do you like birds? Sure, I guess. The New Lake New Vandenberg is basically one big aviary. Something like 2/3 of the native fauna has feathers, flutters on the wind, and splatters its excrement across every available surface. Not so fun. Naturally, the original colonists adopted the feathery little monsters into the culture, and those of us that came after were kind of stuck with it. Statues, fountains, murals, you name it. Just a giant feathery pile of screeching alien birds. If the system had a motto, it'd be squawk. Cute. Maybe if you hadn't grown up with it. Where'd you learn to pilot the Leopard anyway? The Taurian Naval Institute on New Vandenberg. Well, among other places, it's a big campus. The low-gravity training station orbiting Lompoc was my second home for a time. T&I flight training isn't usually open to civilians, but my parents had good credit back then, and they could name-drop Protector Calderon. That'll get you pretty far on the Concordat. For a while, anyway. Now, the other cadets in my class weren't especially happy sharing air with a civvy, but they couldn't say much. I was nobility, and they weren't. Everyone sort of kept me at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. She was ignored! No! I got my certification in both dropship and jumpship operations in 4 years. I even tried working on a commercial jump crew for a while. Once upon a time, the people there were fun, but it wasn't for me. The ratio of flying to violent jump sickness skewed hard in the wrong direction. What can you tell me about House Mayer? You're looking at it. My parents are both gone. Blood cancer and heart disease, respectively. Both treatable, but they were out of money at that point, so into the ground they went. Ditto my brother David, who ran off to serve in the Third Succession War and never came back. I'm sorry. The galaxy was at war for nearly 200 years, Commander. People died. You don't need to apologize for it, and truthfully, I was never really all that close to them. That's sad. David was 13 years older than me, and had a foot out the door before I turned 3. And my parents, well, they raised me by proxy. In the traditional noble fashion, there was no real bond there, even when I was young. None of this is to say that my folks were bad people. They weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringings had been outsourced, just like mine was. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about my family. They're gone. I'm here. The end. So you got another question, or should we get back to our duties? Why, yes I do. Your family came from Rasselhag? It was a long time ago, yeah, and my parents told it. We were landowners on Pomme de Terre. It's a agricultural world, sort of the breadbasket of the Draconis Combine. And yes, I know that Pomme de Terre means potato. My ancestors came from planet Potato. Took some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. Look, potatoes are damn delicious. I can see why they would name a planet after the potato. Anyway, moving on, House Mayer's holdings were meager, but the value of that land was astronomical. For minor nobility, we were really very wealthy. And then the Third Succession War broke out, and the political rhetoric got ugly. House Mayor didn't want a single part of what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. Okay. As a rule, House Kurita takes a really dim view of nobles who cut and run. Words like traitor and defector start getting thrown around in the Combine. You really don't want to be there, be on the receiving end of allegations like that. I wouldn't be standing here today if House Calderon hadn't granted my ancestors asylum in the Concordat. In all likelihood, House Mayor would have been wiped out before I was even born. Interesting. Yeah, I believe House Kurita is the honor head cutting types, if I remember correctly. Let's see. I'd like to talk about something else. Be my guest. So what do you need? I've got to get back to it. Talk to you later, Samir. I don't need to learn about navigation. I don't think. Commander. I mean, it's just a tutorial. I kind of already know it. And now we got the mech bays. We're gonna go to the bays. We're gonna go see our. Oh man, look at that color. Look at that color. That is just so nice looking. We got the Vindicator. Oh man, they're so cool looking. Shadowhawk. Got the Spider, which needs to be repaired. And I suppose I can do that right now. It's actually a whole thing with this. Let's see if we go. I can probably actually kind of explain it. Repair and refit. So each there's a certain amount of tons that you have to work with. With this, it's 30 tons, and a certain amount of slots in each general location that you're able to fill. And within those like sections, there's a certain like amount of weapons you can fit. So like this mech specifically only has 2 weapon points. It has 2 laser slots. There's laser, there's missile, and there's ballistic hard points. This one has 2 laser hard points, so it's got 2 medium lasers in the center torso. I think there is like a number of jump jets you can actually carry on these too. Is this it? Yep, jump jet hard points. You can see it up here, 8 out of 8. It's got the max. This thing is just built for fast and speed and built to get out of there quick. So I was kind of using it a little bit incorrectly, but what can you do? But anyway, you can pick from your loadout what you've got. Let's see what I've got. I've got a large laser, an AC-2, an LRM-10, and a couple of medium lasers, it looks like. Oh, and a small range missile too. We've got ammo for like the weapon types, the guns, and the missiles. We've got equipment like heat sinks, and jump jets. Heat sinks, kind of self-explanatory. They make you more heat efficient, so when you fire your weapons, your heat goes down faster. But anyway, we're not modifying these mechs in any way because I don't have anything to modify it with. Even then, I wouldn't even bother with this mech anyways. So we're just gonna go ahead and repair everything. There's like before there's like a repair all button that you can do, but yeah, right there, repair all. We're gonna go ahead and hit confirm. 12,000 over 4 days. Actually, it's a lot less than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like at least a week.
Shouldn't be too hard.
This is one thing I forgot that we actually had. It's a Locust. It's a 20-ton mech. It doesn't have much. This is just basic. This is all recon. It has 0 armor. It has no range. It's only got a couple of machine guns and laser. It has basically no firepower. It's just built for scouting. You don't want to get this thing doesn't want to get into any kind of fire. It's just going to be a bad time. We can have up to 3 bays. Eventually we'll get more like mech bays so we can have mechs at the ready. But right now we can only have 6. We have 5 right now. We have a 6 slot waiting, and we have storage. Storage. This is for all your mechs that you'll eventually find. I don't remember if you actually have to pay for storage, but maybe. I think per month it like it charges you or something like that. And then we've got all the components of everything we've got. Anyway, let's go talk to Yang.
Anything I can do?
Hey, boss. Welcome to the mech bay. My own little piece of heaven right here in the ship. Something I can help you with? Want an assessment on the Leopard. How much trouble are we in? Dunno. I mean, we're doing okay for the moment, but give it a few months, maybe a year. You know how it goes. Eventually, everything falls apart. Okay, I got a few questions about the mech bay. I mean, I don't. I kind of already know. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you end up on this crew? That's a long story, boss. Shortest version I can give you. Signed on after I served my term in the 30th Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. If you want to know more, you can ask whatever you want. Otherwise, let's get back to talking shop. Where are you from originally? Bryant and the Confederation. You may have heard of our claim to fame, the Crowley Lizard Cow. No? Well, trust me. They're delicious. Lizard Cow. Alright. Anyway, as the story goes, Bryant was a very nice place once. A tourist spot, big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts, blue pale skies, emerald green seas, and a booming agricultural business. You know, the works. Never knew it that way, though. Stefan Amaris got it a couple of centuries before I was born. And, well, that was that. Yeah. They destroyed a lot of planets in the process. It's very unfortunate for a lot of people. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors they called them. The Star League put them in place. When Amaris took the system in his civil war, he had his troops use them for target practice. What those mirrors, Bryant reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of windblown dirt, actively hostile to human life. What a dick. What a dick. Amaris was a dick. In fact, if you search more on Amaris, you'll find out that he was, in fact, a dick. Actually, if I remember correctly, there is a YouTube channel that does lore videos on Battletech. Black Pants Legion. Go check them out. They're fucking great. Holy shit. They have so many cool lore videos, and he's really funny. Let's see. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fill a planet's entire population into a handful of cities at its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far down you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly poor people, died in the early days. There's still a lot of overcrowding in the Byron and Bryant cities even now. That's my childhood home in a nutshell. Way too many people jammed into a tiny, claustrophobic space with nowhere to go but off-planet. I cleared out of there as fast as I could and never looked back. Gotta admit, though, I do miss the taste of Lizard Cow. Tell me about your time in the military. Who'd you serve with? Okay. The 2nd St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Ling. We saw more action than most. The arm is a souvenir of my time in service. I lost the original back in 3010 on St. Louis, Loris. Oh yeah, he's got a mechanical arm. You know, when we first arrived at St. Louis, I loved the place. It's a agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery. The Fed rats drove us out in 05 with our tails between our legs, so it looked like paradise to us. I remember kicking back in the mech bay, my feet propped up on the engine block, sipping on a snifter of ambergrists of vermouth. Not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. That's classy. All right. Anyway, turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us yet. We were barely a month into our deployment when they sent the SETI Hussars to burn us out. I'm sure there were sound strategic reasons for House Davion to want St. Louis, but it sure felt personal to me. Long story short, one of their scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time. Being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. I lost 2 of my favorite assistants and my own right arm. And I've got this ugly thing grafted onto me as a reminder. Unfortunate. Okay, and yet here I am, doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Why'd you leave the Capellan Confederation? After my tour of duty was up, you mean? I don't know. It was just time for a change. Besides, the place wasn't for me anymore. In a way, it really never was. I learned a lot from my time in service, got my first-hand view of the elitist bullshit that saturates Capellan culture, how it rewards highborn idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. And when my tour was over, I packed up my things and made a beeline for the periphery. It seemed like a good place as any to find new beginning. You'll never really get away from the aristocracy. Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. For what it's worth, I'm glad you made that choice. You brought my mech back from the brink more than once. Way more than once, if memory serves. Still, I appreciate the kind words, and for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here with this crew. I'm happy to be here with this crew. Going a career military would have been an enormous mistake. You'll never really get away from the aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. Yeah, but you're different. Oh, yeah. You're a competent noble, and you weren't afraid to get your hands dirty. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. I wonder how many times I watch talented engineers get passed over for promotions so some idiot with a title could advance. Too many to count. In your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else. Okay, we're done. Alright. Looks good. I've got to get back to it. Talk to you later, Yang.
Come back anytime.
Okay, now we've got the barracks. Can we actually... I don't think we can actually access the roster yet. Oh, we can. Awesome. Oof. Okay. So, I'm down for the count for 27 days, it looks like. Although I can still, fight. But I guess I can kind of introduce you to the perk tree that we've got. So we've got gunnery, we've got piloting, we've got guts, and we've got tactics. And all of these trees have something special. You won't be able to get all of them, unfortunately. But you get EXP each run. Each run, you can throw that EXP into some of these. Right now, I've got 2,800 EXP, so I can actually do quite a bit. You got the guts tree, mainly makes you you take less damage. So you can actually see here, I get +1 health. Well, not less damage, but you get plus. You're a sturdier fighter. +1 health means 1 more injury. Then we've got Bulwark, which reduces damage by 40%, which is really massive. And then after that, we've got Coolant Vent, which allows you to vent more heat than you normally would, allowing you to fire more. And I believe you also get... I think you can get up to 5 injuries, or 6. It actually might be 6. I don't actually want these, though. Tactics, let's see. Indirect fire penalty. Oh, yeah. This basically removes the penalty for a lot of firing. If you're don't have direct line of sight, you're going to have less of a penalty. But we've also got sensor lock, which allows all of your units to target anyone in the back, even if they go out of line of sight. Also reduces evasion. It's actually very nice for missiles. Then we've got Master Tactician. The pilot gains 1 initiative and removes a bar of stability damage when reserving. And I don't really use reserving too much, although I should. Reserving allows you to basically hold your turn. I never really truly found a reason for doing so. Maybe someone can enlighten me that. May make it a little bit easier to actually choose it, but I usually never go tactics. Unless I've got like some kind of fire support pilot. So we're not going to go tactics for him. Piloting increases your melee, your base melee hit percentage. It gives you, let's see. Oh yeah. Mech pilots gain 1 bonus evasion charge after moving. Can exceed the unit's maximum. But the move is not a sprint, jump, or charge. Okay, yeah. I don't sure footing. It just basically means you don't lose stability. Ace pilot. Oh boy, yeah. Ace pilot is actually really busted. Can move after shooting, which means you can shoot and then get away. Shoot, if I remember correctly, there was one that allowed you to have more initiative. Maybe it was piloting. Maybe maybe it is tactics that I'm thinking of. I think tactics is used for having more initiative to move a turn sooner. I don't quite remember. As it's been quite a while since I've actually played the game, I don't really remember the talent tree too much. Gunnery, you get like a higher base hit on your weapon, which is actually what I'll be doing for my main character here. Multi-targets, just a really solid pick. Breaching shot is also really solid. Attacks ignore cover or guarded on the target, which means they do full damage. And also, I mean, your weapons hit will have a higher accuracy to hit. Right now, I've got a 12.5% base weapon hit on top of whatever it is. I don't actually know what the base is. I think it's 50% on weapons. I'm not sure. I guess it really depends, but basically, I'll be able to hit things easier. And that's what I'm going to do. Confirming the ability selection is permanent. You only have 2 primary abilities and 1 specialist ability. So... And mech warriors cannot be retained? Oh, right.
Training confirmed.
I'm retrained. Yeah, so this would be the specialist ability. And these are the... the other abilities. All right, Medusa. It looks like Medusa is quite the pilot. He's very similar to Decker, it looks like, except Decker is just better. And I think I will actually go into piloting with him as well. Maybe piloting and tactics. I'm not sure. He's got 21. He doesn't have near as much, but we're gonna go with piloting.
Mech warrior training complete.
Glitch, you're also gonna be gunnery. Oh, you've only got 1,000 EXP though. Maybe piloting. I think piloting and gunnery is probably a good move for both of these. Although I could go tactics and make her support fire too. It's hard to say. Maybe I'll hold off on training her. I don't need to train her immediately anyways.
What's up, boss?
Decker, he's got 2,200 EXP, and I think you're going to be piloting, or maybe you'll go tactics. I think you'll go tactics. You've got a light mech. Sensor lock could be really useful. Oh yeah, minimum fire range is reduced. It's nice. It's very nice. In fact, what did this give me? It just gave me a hit. Right, okay.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, we're gonna go tactics.
Training complete.
Okay, and now
What's up,
Behemoth,
boss?
you're gonna go straight up guts. She's gonna be guts. I don't have she's gonna be like the tanky one. She'll be able to just take damage. She's already really OP. She's got 4 and 2 stats, 3 and 1. Tactics. Meh. I guess they've all got around the same amount of skills. But I'm gonna go for guts for Behemoth. They're already pretty well into the tree anyways. Okay. And I think that's all about it for the mech warriors. I don't want to go to the command center yet, so let's go to the hiring hall. I doubt there's anything here yet. Oh, there is. Interesting. So, here's the hiring hall. Where you can actually kind of choose. Ooh. Yeah. You can choose to hire other pilots if you need to. Sometimes you need to rotate pilots out if they're injured or something, so they could be useful. But remember, you got to pay for those pilots anyways, even if they're not being used. The higher your mercenary rank, the higher level the pilot you can recruit. And these guys are absolutely better than these guys here, these two in the red. But I mean, they also have a much higher salary too. 49,000, 40,000, 33, 27. So it's good if, it's also good if you need to replace a pilot too. But then we've also got the store. Ooh, boy, actually, they've got stuff in here. They've got stuff. This is where you can buy mechs. This is where you can buy weapons, equipment. Actually, I want to check out the mechs that they got. They got an Archer. The 70-ton heavy mech. Archer is nice. Archer is really nice. They've got a Commando. They've got a Cyclops, which is a assault mech. Are these full mechs? These aren't full mechs, right? It is a full mech, it looks like. God damn. Oh no, this is partial mech salvage. These aren't even full mechs. These are just salvage. I was like, damn, that's cheap. What the fuck? Yeah, these are partial mech salvage. Once you get 3 parts, you can actually build the mech itself. Good if you're looking for that one final part for your mech. Let's see, we got Phoenix Hawk. We've got a Rifleman. These are 2. There's another medium mech. I actually kind of like the Phoenix Hawk, but shame we don't have it. We've got the Rifleman. Rifleman's also really solid. It's another heavy mech. Fortunately, we don't have the money to buy these parts. We don't have the money to really be throwing around for these, and we definitely don't want to do it anyways. Okay. So we've got some weapon systems, and looks like we've got some better weapon systems. I believe these go to ++, if I remember correctly. Plus just means that weapon system is better, so like than a regular AC5. You can actually see the bonuses on it. It says +5. The AC20's got a +2 accuracy. This one's got a +10 damage. That'd be big. We don't have anything. Oh, we have an ultra autocannon too. What the hell? It's kind of nice. But we're not buying any weapons because they're also really expensive. Do we have any equipment? A mortar? Hellspawn? I don't even know what this is. Interesting. I don't think I've ever used these before. But it looks kind of cool. Maybe we'll use that sometime. I didn't realize you could have equipment like that. Well, yeah, we don't really have any much here. We have jump jets for... S is... just small, yeah. Up to 55 tons, heavy up to 75, 85 tons. And then this is used, the solid is used for 90 tons or higher. Okay. Good to know. Then we got the command center. Let's talk to Darius before we go to the contracts.
All ears, Commander.
Always good to see you at Ops, Killian. Can I do something for you? I want to know more about our situation. Yeah, sure. That's fair. I'm glad you're taking an interest. I've got time to get into the nuts and bolts of it if you do. What did you want to know? Remind me why we took out so many loans in the first place. How much time do you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Koromodir, but I guess you're mostly interested in the big ticket items. Well, first and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship. Losing her isn't an option. Then we've got all the assorted fallout from our impromptu trip across the frontier. Jump ship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid for on credit. As if we had a choice. Fair enough. There's more that I could get into, but the loan we took out to set up Markham's family, etc., but that'd be gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders, but hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who are we in debt to exactly? I want names. How about I give you the top three? First, you've got the Blue Horizon. That's the big commercial bank on Laridan. They're the ones that own the lease on the ship. Then there's Indri Consortium. They've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merc space. We borrowed them from their associates to make the jump away from Koromodir on the day of the coup. Finally, you've got the Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit from Haster, and they're about as crooked as they come. Now, I normally wouldn't do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we didn't have a choice. They made a deal with the Blue Horizon to buy half our debt. So that's the big three. Commercial bank, a shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers in cheap suits. Each of them is dangerous in their own way. That's enough money talk. Let me ask you something else. Got a few minutes to chat. I'd like to catch up. Yeah, sure, I've got time to chat. Before any of this started, you worked with Arano Royal Guard. Tell me more about it. It was more than just a deployment. It was a full campaign. High Lord Tamani gave us the job back in 19. We were supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to round up and eliminate a pirate clan on Fjord. Fjord? Commander Markham thought it'd be easy money. Turned out to be anything but. We lost a dozen mech warriors in 3 months of the Fjord campaign. Had to hose them out of their cockpits. Ew. Would have been more if it wasn't for Sir Raju. He saved our people's asses more than on more than one occasion. Went out of his way to do it, and the thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection. We were the hired help. Damn. A lot of people in Master's position would have used us as cannon fodder, but that wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man, Killian. As good as they come. Tell me a bit about yourself, Darius. Where are you from? I grew up on Nassau Heights. It's one of the HAB stations orbiting Ardu. 30 decks of economic stratification with the corporate suits on the upper decks and everyone else crammed into the lower ones. My old man was a deckhand. We lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with the other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. My dad would load and unload cargo shuttles, vacuum sealed a quiller and a nutrient paste for the people like us, and luxury goods for the suits upstairs. The old man must have unloaded 1,000 cases of Casilodon eel roe, plump and succulent eggs the size of melon balls. Never got to taste any, though, and one of those tins would have cost him a half year's wages. Holy shit. Anyway, Killian, I don't want to saddle you with my life story. Suffice to say that I got an eyeful of what I didn't want to be on Nassau Heights, and I did what I did. I did what I had to do to change my circumstances, and by the age of 16, I struck out on my own. I left that station with a handful of skills, an enormous web of contacts, and a rucksack full of that expensive caviar. And once I made it off to Nassau Heights, I never ever looked back. Let's talk about something else. I gotta run, Darius.
You know where to find me.
Okay. And now I think we can finally go to the contracts. We've got available contracts. Honestly, I would do this. I want to do this now, but I think we need to wait. So I'm going to travel there first, because it's going to take me 12 days anyways. Set course.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
Engines primed. All hands prepare for transition to thrust gravity. All hands, make ready for docking maneuvers.
Job's done, Commander.
All work orders complete, Commander. The crew is ready for the next job. All right. All right. So we're still out of action for 23 days. We won't get there for another 8. So I think I'm actually going to speed this up. We've arrived.
Undocked from junction. We're clear.
Oh boy. You're on the Leopard's Bridge with Samire, Yang, and Darius for the daily staff briefing. Darius says we received 3 messages from the banks. Loan sharks. Samire cuts in. From the people who are financing us. Darius continues. They're continuing rewriting the terms of our loans, so it would be easier to seize the ship if we miss a payment. As usual, they're only doing this because they believe we can't fight in a court. Sweet talk the banks. I'll talk to them, you say, and the meeting moves on. Afterwards, you record a response. In it, you explain with such gravitas that you selected each of the banks for their prestige and reliability. You remind them of your impeccable payment history. You conclude by expressing your desire for a long and fruitful financial relationship with them, hinting that you might seek additional loans when your current ones are paid in full. A few days later, the banks contact you to say the previous messages were sent in error and should be ignored. Your company has gained the tag loan status fair. The company's credit is currently rated as fair by the banks financing the Leopard, which should at least deter them from sending bounty hunters after you. So there's going to be little things like this that pop up when you travel. And they can be good or bad effects. Sometimes they're just straight up bad effects no matter what you pick. Sometimes they're good effects. They're just different. But you get good or bad effects depending on that. And there's also little like lore pieces and stuff. It's really neat. I like it. I don't know. I probably should have picked one of the other ones. It sounds like it would probably be a good time. But let's continue on.
We've arrived at our destination, Commander.
Continue. Yeah, I still have 15 days. I'm gonna wait. And now we're no longer injured. And I think with that, this is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing.